Hi everyone and welcome to this month's tutorial video. I'm happy that you chose the topic of portrait sketch made with pencil crayons because I'm absolutely in love with these bad boys. In this video, I'm going to take you guys through my process of drawing a traditional portrait but with colored pencils. First, I'll tell you about my materials and a new sketchbook that we will start together. Next, I'll show you the process of drawing in real time. Let's start with pencil crayons. I'm using Prismacolor Premier Softcore pencils. I have a set of 48 colors and they are my first professional colored pencils. Before I had only student grade crayons and I remember that I liked drawing with them as a child, but they were never my favorite art supplies. Prismacolor, on the other hand, are something completely different for me. They are soft, they are highly pigmented, they blend really well, and they have this velvety, creamy feeling on the paper. You can buy them in sets or pick individual colors. Each pencil has a name and code of their shades, so it will be easy to buy particular ones when I'll finish my favorite colors. Few times I heard that people have problems with Prisma because they break easily when you sharpen them, but I didn't have this problem so far. One of the most difficult things in switching from regular graphite to colored pencils is the fact that you can't erase your mistakes easily. I'm using black dust-free eraser from Faber-Castell and I think it's good with crayons, but when they are used very lightly. To sharpen my crayons, I use just regular metal sharpener. I don't know the brand, but I like it because it's very sharp, so my pencils don't break when I'm using it. This is Talent's art creation sketchbook, and I must admit it's one of my favorites. I have a size close to A5 format, but I have also two more, and I'll start a new one with you today. I think it's a good occasion. Yeah, I will use the white one. I love these sketchbooks because of the off-white smooth paper. Crayons can blend easily on it, and also it's not transparent at all. I cannot see through this paper and I would hate it. It's thick, it's smooth, and yeah, it's very nice for many media like pencil crayons, pencils, ink, gouache, or even watercolors, because I tried a little bit and it didn't bleed through the pages. Okay, so let's start. Let's open our new sketchbook. Yeah, all my other sketchbooks are hating me right now, but who cares? I'll do this for you. And for myself a little bit, of course. Yeah, we all need some small pleasures in our lives. They don't have to be guilty pleasures, you know. I don't feel guilty. I'll just use it. Our steps today are going to be choosing of reference photo, sketching, base colors, shading with cool and warm tones, fun variations, and finishing with sharp details. Here's the photo reference I picked from Pinterest, and I like it because it has very nice shades, it's clear, skin is perfectly visible, and yeah, I think it'll be pleasant to draw. I always start drawing with very soft, light lines. When I use graphite pencil, I pick HB. When I draw with pencil crayons, I start with the color that is very similar to the color of the background. So here's an off-white paper. I'm choosing the light yellow pencil because I want my background to stay warm. You might be familiar with the underpainting idea, and it's commonly used in, for example, gouache paintings. So here I'm doing some kind of underpainting in warm tones. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I know that the underpainting is optically visible with next layers, but without the danger of blending all the layers too much and making the colors, muddy. At the same time, underpainting should not be too visible on the final piece, so that's why I'm using a light tone. Also, I'm using light colors because they are easier to erase at this moment, and even if I will make some mistakes, they will be covered by next layers and they will not be so visible. So the order of using colors in pencil crayons, or at least what I like to do, because there are no strict rules in art, is using colors from the very light to the darkest. What I'm doing here is practically the same as drawing with pencil. So I'm searching for main directions, main proportions, and I'm trying to place my future drawing on the canvas. So here's the center line, as you can see. I'm trying to find the shape of the face. I know I usually draw the face too wide. I don't know why, but I do this very often. So I'm trying to draw it lightly, and then I will make more precise shape of the face, maybe in next layer or just after erasing some mistakes. I think it's very important to draw a lot to get to know your most common mistakes. For example, I tend to draw a face that is too wide. Lips are often too powdered at the beginning. And the second eye is often moved to the side of the face. So it's difficult to get rid of such habits, but when you realize that you have them, you can gradually eliminate one by one. In my opinion, the practice itself is not a learning process. You need to be able to spot your mistakes and learn effectively by improving them. I also know that I have often had a tendency to get impatient and to draw lines that are too strong, too heavy. I actually remember when I was 16 and I went to my first drawing and still life class, and my teacher asked me to draw a straight line on a large Bristol paper hanging on an easel, I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, my line was so heavy I almost broke the charcoal, and apparently it was a rare event because everyone draws gently and uncertainly during such tests, most of the people at least, and the teacher immediately stated that I have a temper. And this kind of courage towards a big blank piece of paper has its advantages, but it also caused me problems because by drawing too fast, too strong lines, I was often frustrated because I couldn't erase them, obviously. Pencil can stand more, but when drawing with crayons, I had to acquire much more delicacy and patience. I use crayons to draw with layers, so the lighter they are, the more you can achieve with them. The colors will be vivid and natural at the same time. I'm aiming for something between saturated colors straight from the crayon and something muted, like very natural. So using crayons without blending is also interesting, but personally I don't like most of the colors straight from the product. I'm also not a fan of most paint colors straight from the tube, so I prefer to mix them up and create something on my own. On the other hand, if I use too many layers, too many colors, and apply too much pigment, the colors will turn muddy. Yeah, this is the rule. All the colors mixed together will create brown, and such a messy, unwanted brown, of course. Prismacolor are, from what I know, crayons that are wax based, and that's why they are so soft, but also why they can create a slippery, like unpleasant layer of wax on the paper, and it also becomes kind of muddy. So this is the rule I like. Using few soft, delicate layers blended into something colorful, but also a little bit natural. Of course, we're going to blend the layers in next stages, but I think it's good to know from the start to not have too heavy hand, and yeah, that they are wax based, so we don't want a too thick layer of crayons on the paper. As you can see, I'm not able to erase my mistakes completely. I'm just making those lines lighter. Maybe some are erased, okay? But it doesn't matter. I know I'm gonna cover those mistakes with another colors. This turtleneck sweater is something weird because it's very dark and details aren't visible. We can see only like shaggy outline here. So I'll have to think how to draw it without drawing it like on the reference, because I'm not sure if I like it. Maybe if I would draw it with pencil, I would do the strong hatching, but here I'm not gonna do such a big contrast, I think, so maybe I will do something like, I don't know, something colorful, like mix of those tiny fluffy fibers. I'll think and I will figure something out. Here I'm drawing hair, and you can see that I'm measuring forehead and yeah, other dimensions compared to the head, because the head is turned down here, so bigger part of the head will be visible. And yeah, that's how I measure it usually. I compare it to other parts of the face that I drew already, and I think they are fine. And then the more features you have and you approve them in your head, the more things you can draw properly, because you can compare one to another. Here the hairline and the head may be are not completely correct and proportional, but I don't know. Maybe I turn this face a little bit up, and that's, yeah, it looked better for me like that. I think I'm pretty happy with the effect, so it's time for orange crayon. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm gonna cut it. Or not. So, next crayon, it's like softer pencil. So, with pencil, I would choose right now probably 2B pencil. And in crayons, I picked orange. So it's darker than the underpainting I did, and still not very dark. So I can improve some details, make some parts darker, some contours stronger, and outline parts that I will put shadows later. I'm amazed that you wanted a real-time process of of this drawing. I don't know if I ever watched something so long, like tutorial, I mean, because of course I watched like Lord of the Rings, but yeah, you amaze me. But I'm also very happy that you want to see my video. I hope you're drawing with me, because I usually draw next to such videos, and I find them very pleasant and calming, and I feel like I'm drawing with someone. So let me know if you draw with me. That would be so cool. But of course, I think you should watch this because you know the process and everything. But yeah, I hope someone draws with me also, and that my voice isn't annoying or my bad English. Yeah, I do so many grammar mistakes, and I'm aware that. I don't know. I never know where to put a something or the something. You know, at, in. I don't know where those words should be put it in English. Maybe someone will explain me. I'm having English classes, and I hope I'm getting better, but who knows? As you can see, I'm not closing the contours. I'm telling you this all the time, but I'll tell it again. That I don't like closed shapes because they look like coloring books. And I prefer less obvious lines, because our brain has ability to close shapes that our eyes see, and I think art shouldn't be so obvious. Also in nature, there are no contours. I found this very interesting actually, that we often draw things that aren't there, like contours, or I don't know what. But we often draw what we think that things look like and not how they actually look like, right? The perception is amazing for me. You guys can't even imagine what my cat's doing during all this recording process. He's so freaking needy. He has to be close to me all the time. He actually would like to sit on my lap, I don't know, or on my head even, I don't know. He just never needs me as much as when I record something. Yeah, he's noisy, he's needy, he's jumping all over my desk and making earthquakes on the camera. Yeah, and when I close him behind the door, he's even more noisy, so I'm probably recording some of his meowing. Her cheeks are so chubby. I don't know why I do this every time. I just have to draw face that is more full, more rounded. I don't know why. And then I'm making it more slim. And here the ears. Are they on the correct level? I don't know. Let's fix those cheeks a little bit. Yeah, I'm often comparing the distance to the lips and from lips to the jaw, actually, to know how thin should be the face. Let me know if you would like to see the reference photo on my video, like through the whole process, because I think it might be very helpful, but maybe it's annoying. Maybe you would like to have a better zoom or something, so don't be afraid to let me know if you have any suggestions. What should I improve about my videos, because I'm still learning. I know they are not perfect. I'm focusing to show you everything that will be helpful to learn the process, but yeah, maybe you have some suggestions. Please don't tell me that I need to learn English, because I know that. I am trying. I like to organize hair in drawing, change it a little bit, make more geometrical. Oh, and here I'm doing the blocking because as you know, I like to outline the areas that I'll put shadows in later. Here I'm pretty happy with the result. I think the base is correct. but I need to check something, and usually when I draw digitally I just flip the picture horizontally, and when you draw traditionally you don't have this option. But what I do, I'm just taking a picture of my drawing and I flip the photo horizontally to check if it doesn't look weird, if everything is fine. I can see it with a pair of fresh eyes. And I can see that there's a little bit something wrong with the eyes, so I will improve it because I think one eye is bigger than another, and maybe they are not looking in the same direction, so I'm improving it now, and the sketch stage will be finished. And here now, next step is picking the colors of my drawing. What I do here, sorry for speeding up, but I don't know if sharpening all these pencils would be interesting for you. What I do here is I'm choosing all the colors that I think that I will use in this picture. To do this, I just look at the reference and I'm trying to see what colors are there. I don't want to choose too many colors because I want a consistency effect and not a random rainbow effect. So 12, 15 colors are enough. Probably I will pick more during the process because sometimes I miss something, but yeah, that's the amount of colors that should be probably enough, and that many I use in one drawing. You might wonder why I use these specific colors when they are not so obvious in the reference photo. So in part it's just my choice and preferences, but most of all I try to see the colors that are actually hidden in the photo, because our skin is never actually one, two, or even three colors. It's a lot of colors that mix in different areas. So for example, where veins are visible, the skin will appear more like bluish, and where delicate blood vessels are visible, such as on the nose, cheeks, or eyelids, the skin will appear more reddish. In the shadows, the skin will be darker, and depending on the formula you choose, the tone in this shade will be cooler or warmer. I usually choose a rule in which the shadows are cooler, although it depends on the reference. It's just important to choose such rule in a given work because it helps to keep the drawing coherent. My work steps are a bit mixed up with each other. At the same time, I continue to create the underpainting elements, and I'm starting to shade the picture. I'm not particularly organized about that. I draw like from impressions. I don't know how to I see something is not right for me and I figure out how to fix it. So it's kind of spontaneous, I think. I know some people have very precise work process, and I admire that because they can repeat the same results. And for me, sometimes something happens by accident, by way of an experiment, and I don't know how to repeat it later. Okay, so coming back to shading and the blending colors. Here you can see how I do it. I use cool tones like purple or blue to emphasize the shadows, and red, orange, or pink are the colors that will bring out the light, the warm light. At the same time, I try to add a color to the shadow color that will be closer to actual shade from the reference. So I can use a beige, cream, pinkish crayon in the shade similar to the skin, and then a layer of blue shade in one place and warm light in the other. So sometimes such mix is far from reality or the colors are too vivid, so I'll add a third layer of color to calm them down. I know that many people use a white crayon to blend shades together, but I don't. I don't like the effect that is too smooth. I prefer to see the structure of the crayon on the paper. As you can see, unlike my pencil works, I use a small amount of hatching here. I use lines for initial contour and for hair or other details, but I prefer to use shading to render the skin with delicate layers. Do you keep your pencil chips? Like those pieces from the sharpener? I like them. I think they're pretty. And I like their sound. Even though it's not a typical hatching or cross hatching, my technique of applying colored pencil is very similar. The point is, I'm following the planes of the face, so the direction in which the pencil is applied, even if it looks like shading, it still has like lines in it, and it's very important. This direction of the lines is important to create the illusion of three-dimensional form. And for example, this plane, this upper lip is facing down, so I'm drawing lines in that direction. You probably noticed that I'm not trying to aim here a full realistic way of showing this person. It's not my main goal when I'm drawing with pencil crayons. Actually, it's often not my goal at all, but with pencil crayons, I just like to create the vividness and liveness of the face, and I don't know, it's not something very realistic for me, it's something in between, and I don't have to draw her perfectly the same as on the reference. It would be even boring for me, I think. I prefer to change some elements, like her lips are probably bigger here than on the reference. The upper lip is bigger, but I don't know, I just thought it's gonna look nice. Here you can see I'm using like grayish green, like something between brown and green and gray color to draw, and I think there is a lot of this green shade on the reference. I can see blue and green shades and some orange, and of course rosy cheeks and red lips, and blue eyes. When I draw eyes, I like to use few different colors to draw the iris, even if color on the reference is very even. But I realized that it's better to draw eyes with few different shades. It looks better, and that's how I'm doing it here. Often I even draw two different colors of eyes. I think it looks interesting. Also, I heard that when we see a portrait, our attention is dragged to one eye and then to another. So it's good to draw two eyes, but in two different ways. So the focus can be directed on one eye and then to another. So you can decide how you do it. One eye can be more sharp and second more blurry. Or you can use different colors. One can be darker and one lighter. It of course depends also on the reference, but I know we're focusing often to draw very symmetrical, identical eyes, but the way of drawing them can be different, and it's actually gives interesting effect. So you can think about it. I don't know if you guys realized that this video is going to be like over 2 hours long because I'm a beginner. I'm actual beginner when it comes to pencil crayons, and my process is very slow and calm. I'm thinking a lot. I don't rush anything. Even I thought, maybe even I thought that it's gonna be faster, but nope. Don't you think that symmetry is a bitch? Sorry for my language, but that's my biggest problem, I think, because every time I draw a face from the front, I have problems with symmetry. Maybe if it was completely front and didn't like face up or down, maybe it would be easier, but here I'm struggling because there are very small differences in symmetry in the reference, but they are there. And yeah, I'm trying to just give her similar character, similar eyes, similar look, and she doesn't want to cooperate with me. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it doesn't have to be very symmetrical. The effect is important, not necessarily the symmetry, but the character of the drawing, I hope. Do you guys listen to any music when you draw? Because in the past I was listening all the time. Like I couldn't start drawing without music or some TV show just in the background, maybe a podcast or something. And right now, it's not because I'm recording it, but I really don't want to hear anything. It's actually very interesting. I don't know what happened, but right now I like to draw and in the silence. Maybe it helps me to focus. I don't know. Maybe just draw with me videos. Yeah, I like those. As I said before, I like to feel that I'm sitting and drawing with someone. Yeah, it's pleasant. When I was a child, I was drawing with my cousin, and she was studying architecture, so she was drawing completely different things, but we like to just sit and draw together, and I think I learned a lot from her. Maybe not specifically about the technique or something like this, but that art should be fun. Yeah. I remember that she often started to draw something, not for her assignment, but just for herself. And I was asking her, "What do you draw?" And she was telling me, "I don't know yet. I'll figure it out later." And I think that's very cool. I don't have like ability to draw something without the idea, and she was doing it spontaneously. So yeah, that must be the answer. That's why I like to draw next to a video of someone's drawing and talking, because it reminds me childhood and drawing with my cousin. She lives in Bulgaria now because she's from Bulgaria, and she lived in Poland when she was studying, but unfortunately we cannot draw right now together anymore. I really like this lavender violet color. I use it a lot recently. And it's good for shading here. I like to draw lips very vivid, more vivid than other parts of the face. I think it looks nice. To draw the lights, like on the lips or nose or eyes, I outline them as in the same way as I block the shadows. So I outline them to remember where they will be, and I'll just keep this piece without any color. Maybe I will add a little bit of white inside, but usually I don't. And I'm sometimes adding a stronger, like darker outline to enhance this light, because contrast makes it pop up, I don't know. It's just more visible then. I'll make her cheeks more red. They are pretty obvious on the reference. And I will add some freckles, like structure of the skin. I like those. Here I will add some orange to make this part of the cheek more vivid. It creates nice gradient, and yeah, I can see this also on the reference. I like this turquoise color. I think it's nice contrast for the orange shade. And I can see a lot of this shade under her eyes. We just need to be careful to not add it too much, because it might look like how do you call it, bruise or something like this. I want to keep it soft and natural. Maybe I'm focusing on the head too much here, so maybe let's try to draw this turtleneck sweater. I'm gonna draw just this shaggy outline to suggest that it's a sweater, not her thick neck or something. Yeah, it's quite okay. I'll come back to this later. How long can I struggle with the shape of a jaw? People struggle with eyes or noses. I struggle with chin and jaw like every time. I often also have a problem with forehead because it's like a big plane without any very characteristic points, so I just leave it to the end and sometimes it looks weird because it's like unfinished and there shouldn't be like a hole in a place of the forehead. It has its planes and shape and colors as well, so I just have to remind myself this. Her face is very rainbowy right now. I don't like this stage, it looks weird for me, and I always think if I'm doing everything okay because it's too vivid and it looks weird. So I'm starting to add more brownish shades to make it look more natural. I know it will pass and I should trust my process, but I just don't like this stage. Drawing mouth line, the middle line, is also pretty challenging, I think, because it's easy to make it looking like slightly open mouth, so you need to shade it gradually so it wouldn't look weird. As you can see here, I started using a very dark crayon. It's something like very dark but brownish shade, and I'm using it to put here some details, some stronger lines. So if I were using a regular graphite, I would use probably something like 6B, but here I'm using this dark color of crayon. Here comes this reddish eyelid. My characters often look like they were crying or something because I like this effect of reddish eyelids and tip of the nose. So I just drew crybabies. So we're about halfway there, I think, right now. It's taking too much time, I think, but yeah. I think I will be faster with experience. And I like crayons, so I will use them more. I'm wondering if they can be used in some kind of more finished drawings, not just studies, because I love studies, of course, but maybe I should do also something more finished, something that I could hang on a wall. I don't know, or maybe an illustration. I tried to use here my Tombow eraser, like the thin one that I use when I draw with pencils, but it's not very good because it's smudging the pencil crayon, and yeah, it's just not very good for this type of drawing. I rarely use white or black crayon, and I just prefer to use very dark color, maybe brown or very dark red or navy. I think it's better for this type of drawing because everything is very vivid, and one spot with completely black color would look weird, like drawn with pencil maybe. So I just prefer to use maybe even few layers of dark color, but not black. As you can see, my very mixed process. uh, I'm drawing details right now. Of course, I should be blending colors, but yeah, I'm impatient. So I added some details here. I hope I won't regret it later. I like this stage when the drawing becomes more dimensional, and I think that's why I'm adding those strong details like with this dark colors, because it makes picture more dimensional, bigger contrast, more shades. Yeah, I like it. I like what's happening now. It's not such a clown face anymore. She's starting to look more natural for me. There's something wrong with her lips. They are too powdered. But at the same time, I'm liking it. I don't hate it, so maybe I'll just keep it that way. They're kind of crooked, but yeah, let's keep it for now. Sometimes I like when there's something weird in the face, you know? It's more interesting to look at, don't you think? Hey, did you miss my voice? I'm gonna tell you a bit about fun variations that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So, to keep the balance in my picture, when I have a very detailed, smooth um, skin with many layers on the picture, I want to draw something that is opposite. So I thought that this turtleneck sweater can be a good balance in opposite to the smoothness of the face. It will not be very detailed, it will be just a fun variation. So at this point, I usually experiment a lot, and I think it takes courage because, yeah, I've been drawing for over an hour now, and I really don't want to ruin it. But I just need some freshness in this drawing, and I think this sketchy looking sweater can be nice, and I'm using a few different colors to draw it, as you can see, and yeah, I think this effect will be nice and opposite to the portrait. You need to be careful because it's very easy to overdo it and add too many decorative elements, and we don't want to do this because it shouldn't like distract us from the portrait, and it should be balanced. I don't like to add too many splashy decorative things around the portrait because, yeah, the main event is the face. So yeah, you just need to be careful with those fun variations to not make them the main event in your drawing. At this point, I will start adding some more sharp details because I have details already here, but I'm adding with sharp crayon more sharp and darker details like separate hair or eyelashes. It will be contrasted with the very blurry skin, and I think it looks nice. It draws attention. Also, I will add a little bit of background, and I chose the blue. I like this color very much, the light blue, because it will also be a contrast to a warm shade of the face, because all the colors of her face are very warm right now, even if they have some greenish colors in some places, but it's warm in general, so I'm adding cool tones around, and I think it will be nice background. Also, the reference photo has a blue background, so probably also because of that. I will add also more funny details of the sweater. Right now I can see that it was a good idea, so I will add more. If you survived till this point, I'm very proud of you. And here's the final piece. I hope you like it. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!